Welcome to The Explainer. In a world full of endless sequels, Capcom just did something pretty bold. They launched a brand new sci-fi adventure called Pragmata. Not only did it become an instant critical darling and a massive commercial hit, but the real surprise? It's the incredibly heartfelt story at its core. Let's break down how they did it.
Right out of the gate, the praise was just overwhelming. We're not talking about just good reviews. We're talking about critics immediately calling it a contender for Game of the Year. For a totally new franchise, that's practically unheard of.
And all that critical acclaim, it translated directly into sales. Capcom announced that Pragmata sold over 1 million units across the globe.
But what's really stunning is how fast it happened. Pragmata hit that 1 million unit mark in just 2 days. For a completely new game that nobody knew anything about, that is a massive, massive achievement.
So, what's the secret sauce here? In this explainer, we're going to break down the 5 key ingredients that made Pragmata such an incredible success, from its emotional core all the way to its really smart business strategy.
First up, how this became an instant sci-fi hit. To really understand why this launch is so impressive, we kind of have to look at what the gaming world is like right now.
See, Pragmata isn't a sequel or a remake. It's Capcom's first major new world in 8 years, and they put a younger generation of developers in charge. It tells the story of this gruff astronaut named Hugh and a really curious android girl, Diana, who are trying to escape a moon base that's been taken over by a rogue AI. It was a huge creative risk, but it paid off big time, capturing players' imaginations right away.
Next up, the heart of the machine. Because beyond all the cool sci-fi stuff, critics all agree that the game's real power comes from something much more human.
Review after review highlights this powerful, super sincere bond between Hugh and Diana. It's a classic found family story, and it works so well because it grounds all the epic sci-fi stakes in this relatable, emotional connection. That dynamic is what really elevates the whole experience.
This quote from Smashpad just puts it perfectly. The action is the soul of the game, for sure, but it's this emotional heart that turns it from a simple shooter into a really touching, memorable journey.
This story really focuses on protection, curiosity, and discovery. And because you're fighting rogue robots, the action is exciting without being graphic at all. This makes Pragmata a genuinely sweet adventure that's perfect for a huge audience, including families.
Okay, so let's see how that emotional connection is woven right into the gameplay itself. This is what everyone's calling the hack and shoot rhythm.
The combat is praised for being unlike anything else out there. This quote from VGC just captures the feeling perfectly. You have to juggle 2 completely different tasks at the same time, kind of like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. It creates this amazing tension and focus.
So this is what reviewers are calling the dual character mechanism. You're not just playing as one character. You are actively controlling Hugh's shooting and aiming, while also solving Diana's real-time hacking puzzles that appear right on your screen. The two are completely intertwined.
Here's how that 4-step loop works. You can't just run in and start shooting. First, you aim with Hugh to open up Diana's hacking grid. Then, you solve her puzzle to expose a weak point, and only then can Hugh's attacks actually do damage. It's a brilliant tactical rhythm. And that simple hacking grid adds a ton of strategy. Your main goal is always the green EXE node, but do you take a longer path to grab some blue nodes for more damage, or a yellow node to make enemies fight each other? You're making these choices in real time, all while dodging attacks. It's like a puzzle inside of a fight.
All right, next, let's talk about why this game feels like a modern-day classic. It's not just the innovative gameplay. It's wrapped in a structure that feels both new and, honestly, refreshingly old school.
In a time of endless games as a service, games designed to be played forever, Pragmata offers a focused 8 to 10 hour linear campaign. There's no filler, and it launched at a more accessible $60 price point, bucking that new $70 standard.
This quote really gets to the heart of why it's connecting with so many people. It's a complete, polished experience from start to finish that just respects your time and delivers exactly what it promises.
Finally, let's look at Capcom's winning formula. This is the clever business strategy that turned a really risky new IP into a massive success.
Now, if you only looked at the initial physical sales charts from Japan, you might be a little confused. Here, you see Pragmata's PS5 version was massively outsold by an established Nintendo hit, Tomodachi Life.
But that chart is super misleading. It doesn't tell the whole story. First, you're comparing a brand new game to an established titan. Second, these are physical sales only, completely ignoring the huge digital market. And, critically, this data is from before the Switch 2 version was even released in Japan. The full picture is so much bigger.
The real winning formula was just Capcom's confidence. They released a huge free demo to let the unique gameplay speak for itself, they launched on all the major platforms to reach the widest audience, and they used that smart price point to encourage players to take a chance on something new. And, well, it worked.
You know, Pragmata's incredible success is a powerful reminder. It proves there's still a huge appetite for new ideas, strong stories, and focused gameplay. It leaves us with a fascinating question. In an industry that's always chasing trends, is a heartfelt single-player story maybe the most innovative idea of all?